My name is Olivia Sobi, and I work at the Golden Star restaurant in the heart of Cairo, where the smell of hot coffee mixes with the aroma of freshly cooked food, where the voices of customers rise above the clamor of the kitchen, and where pots collide and orders are shouted while the chefs move with precise movements. Every day I begin my work in the kitchen, emptying dishes, washing utensils, and wiping my hands on my apron, every small action making me feel a mix of exhaustion and anticipation. The work is hard and the salary is modest, but it is enough to support myself and my twin boys, Noah and Liam. I lost my husband 3 years ago in a tragic accident, and since then I have learned to be strong, to endure whatever life throws at me, to smile in front of my children despite the fatigue, and to hold on to a small hope in my heart, clinging to it in the darkest moments. At the end of each shift, I notice leftover food beside the trash bin, untouched pasta, pieces of meat and sausages, carefully cooked vegetables, entire portions that no customer had touched. Sometimes I feel a mixture of confusion and frustration. How could people leave this fresh food while my children might go to bed hungry? Without hesitation, I would fill my small containers with the leftovers, whispering quietly to myself, "They won't go hungry tonight." A mixture of joy and guilt filled my heart as I imagined Noah and Liam's eager faces, their little eyes searching for food, and I remembered the nights we survived on a single slice of bread. These were my secret rituals. I never took more than what was going to be thrown away so as not to wrong any customer or put myself in trouble. And every night, I felt a blend of relief and fear, as if walking on a fine line between compassion and anxiety, love and danger. No one knew the truth. My coworkers constantly mocking me. "Olivia, all this food is going to the lost dog, right?" They laughed loudly, and I smiled silently, keeping my dignity. I had learned that silence is often better than defense, and that speaking would not change anything. Then came Stephen, the ambitious young man who became the new owner of the restaurant, extremely cautious, installing surveillance cameras everywhere, fearing theft or misconduct. One night, he caught me taking the leftovers. My heart sank, and he rushed into the kitchen to confront Fred, the chef, who tried to explain that the food was for the dog. I didn't understand why my heart felt so heavy, but I knew the truth would come to light eventually. The following night, Stephen followed me to my small apartment in a poor Cairo neighborhood without my knowing, and I carried on with my routine silently, unaware of his presence. In my small apartment, I sat at the table, emptying the food containers onto the children's plates, watching Noah and Liam beam with happiness as they devoured sausages, vegetables, fresh cheese, and the bread I had brought from the restaurant. The scene was simple, but for them, it was a whole world of joy. Their eyes sparkling with delight, their tiny hands moving quickly to fill their plates, smiles that never left their faces. Suddenly, I felt someone at the door. I turned to see Stephen standing there, stunned, his eyes wide with disbelief. There was no anger on his face, only wonder and surprise. He asked softly, "You have children?" I nodded silently, trying to remain composed. In that moment, he saw the full truth, my difficult life, my silent sacrifices, the nights we had survived on a single slice of bread. His previous sarcastic smile was gone, replaced by amazement and compassion. I felt a slight relief, yet my heart still fluttered with fear that he might think I needed his help when I was only trying to stay strong and believe in myself. The next morning, Stephen came to the restaurant early and invited me to his office. I didn't know what awaited me, but he began speaking softly and warmly. "Olivia, I want to apologize for last night. I judged you unfairly." I swallowed and replied calmly, "It's okay. I wouldn't let my children go hungry, that's all." He handed me an envelope containing a financial bonus and added with a smile, "I want to make sure your children get what they need from food." At the same time, he discovered that Fred, the chef, had been taking valuable ingredients to pay off debts. Instead of anger, He chose to support him in exchange for honesty and loyalty, making the workplace more compassionate and respectful. From that day on, my status in the restaurant changed. I was no longer just a dishwasher. I became an important part of the team, earning respect and trust. No one mocked me or belittled my efforts anymore. Everyone valued what I silently did, and it gave me a sense of empowerment I hadn't felt in years. My relationship with Stephen developed into mutual respect and trust, not a quick romance, but the foundation of a genuine human connection. One surprising day, he smiled at me and said, "Olivia, I want to give you something bigger than a bonus. I want you and your children to live in this new apartment with no monthly rent." I couldn't believe what I heard. For the first time in years, I felt real security. The apartment was spacious, filled with natural lights, with comfortable bedrooms and a fully equipped kitchen. Everything seemed like life was giving us a fresh start. We moved in, and Noah and Liam thrived in this better environment, and our lives were filled with warmth and happiness. I realized that a small act from someone, like appreciation and compassion, can completely change another person's life, and that love, honesty, and good intentions create hope, even in the darkest times. True hope appears for those who persist despite hardships, for those who face life with a smile despite pain, and for those who choose compassion even when no one notices. And so, our lives became filled with security, warmth, and love. And for the first time in years, I felt peace and reassurance, knowing that each new day carries the opportunity to live a better life with my children, a life we truly deserve after years of patience and struggle.